Let's talk about locations, addresses, where the existing satellite imagery or aerial imagery is less than ideal. This is a small little mountain town in Canada, and we're in town. And these are real streets. People live in these houses, and their roofs fail and leak. And the companies that go into work in these locations don't have that crystal clear HD near map imagery.
Right.
This is our sort of standard satellite imagery. And this is zoomed in at the street level. There's like 10 houses on this block, and it's just pixels.
Can't see anything.
What's the solution here, Katrina? We need high resolution imagery in order to draw accurate measurements in RoofSnap for the whole process.
Absolutely.
So what do we do in this case?
Definitely recommend using a drone.
Our favorite drones, you may have seen some of our recent blog posts where we've recommended DJI products, Mavics, Phantoms. Fly a drone with a 4K camera, getting high resolution imagery. It's actually better than any of the HD imagery that some locations have in RoofSnap by default. Get that drone up to 400 feet and and we recommend 400 feet because it is sort of the the FAA limit for non-commercial piloting, and it is a distance above the roof that is high enough such that the different elevations and different linear components of the roof are flattened out. If your drone's only 20, 30 feet above the roof, that image, due to basically just due to the lens of the camera, those lines are going to be distorted. Your hips are going to be wildly distorted. Your rakes are going to be non-parallel. It's not going to look good. And once you have that drone image saved into the images gallery on your iOS device, come into RoofSnap, create a project for that address, and instead of relying on existing imagery, tap on the import button. Now we actually have at least one DJI drone import image here.
Nice. So
we'll go ahead and load in this guy. So in our example here, this is the house on that street. Not literally. But this serves as a good example of importing a drone image. Now I use this one intentionally, Katrina. I'm going to go ahead first and snap and start drawing this image.
Okay.
And it's going to give us instructions that we've seen in other videos when we've imported architectural drawings. Because this is a drone image, it does not know the scale. But we can take an on-site measurement. And we have a couple tips. Katrina, what's one good way to get an on-site measurement standard every time?
Yes. A lot of people will use maybe spray painted PVC pipes and pop that up in the gutter line. So it's really easy to trace those. They're a nice bright color. They contrast really well to most white and typical gutters that you see. It's very easy to trace and set the scale that way.
Yep. Another thing is we have had some customers who recommend, just parking their truck very close to the house so that it's in the same image. And they'll know the length of the ladder that they carry on their truck.
Right.
Say it's 16 feet when it's collapsed on the truck from end to end or something like that. It serves as a scale. Or the best method, of course, is to just get out your 100-foot tape or your wheel perhaps and measure one section of the roof while you're doing your on-site inspection. You see here I pan and zoomed around a little bit just to get this image kind of nice and centered here. I'm going to flip back over to the draw mode. So for setting the scale on this roof, we're going to apply the scale measurement down this eave edge. You want to use a nice long section of the roof. You don't want this to be a 5-foot measurement. It won't be incredibly accurate. Once you've drawn that line, you go ahead and put in the length. This is about 45 feet long.
Perfect.
And then if there are inches, convert those inches to a decimal. So let's say it's 45 feet 2 inches.
Okay.
Convert that to 0.17.
Perfect.
Tap on the OK button. And then go ahead and tap on the Accept button right there in between Cancel and Pan and Zoom. I want to jump into that sketch. Now we can see that the image is saved to scale. If we draw this line one more time, and if you noticed, I drew it from the center of the gutter to the center of the gutter, so just a little bit beyond, but we are at 45.2, exactly where we want to be. Now I do want to point out one thing. This is an image that was taken at about 300 feet. Mm-hmm. After that image was taken, so it was more than just the house. It had other houses in the image, mm-hmm. and it had, you could see the streets and the gardens and everything. Mm-hmm. So this image was imported into as an image into your images gallery on your iPad, mm-hmm. and then it was resized. Gotcha. This was such a high resolution image, you don't need to import the super high resolution image. In fact, let me just switch over to my images gallery. Here in Photos, I have that drone image, and I've got an edit button. When I click on the edit button, I've got some different tools down here along the left side. So if I click on that crop and rotate, this is where I can crop the image. See how big the image was? Yes. You can see other houses and the long road. You want to get it cropped up, but you also want to take a second here and actually rotate the image a little bit. This is your opportunity now to make this image straight. Mm-hmm. Cropping it and rotating it here in Photos before you import it into RoofSnap. That way you can use 90 mode.
Perfect.
And as you see, iOS even gives you these horizontal lines that you can use.
Nice. Get it nice and straight so that the drawing process is super easy.
Yep. Now I want to hit the done button there, keep that image saved in my Photos gallery, and jump right back into RoofSnap. The last point I wanted to make here is at 300 feet, you will see that the rakes of this edge are they're pretty close to straight, but you see how there's a slight tapering there? Mm-hmm. Maybe on the other side it's a little clearer to see. Oh, this one, it's much clearer to see here. At 400 feet, you all but eliminate this slight tapering that happens with the rake edges and with the hips. So this is just one final recommendation to make sure you get your drone up to that maximum altitude in which you're legally allowed to fly. And then importing drone imagery into RoofSnap when you're in the most rural conditions will always be your best bet.
Absolutely.